Dasa Oh hey Vaishnava Saku Doyara Sagara Edase Koruna Kori Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Edase Koruna Kori Jia Parachaya Shuroe amai tomara charana gori Jia Parachaya Shuroe amaya tomara charana gori Chaya bhega dhomi chaya dosha shodhi chaya guna devo Jaya Satsanga Deo he amare Boshashi Sange Rashi Jaya Satsanga Deo he amare Boshashi Sange Ekaki amar nahi bhai balo Hare Nama Sankirtane Ekaki amar nahi bhai balo Hare Nama Sankirtane Tumi kripa kore sharavindu diya Deha Krishna Nama Khane Tumi Kripa Kori Shalavindu Diya Deha Krishna Nama Khane Krishna Se Toma Krishna Dikte Paro Tomara Shakti Vache Ganga Krishna Krishna Boli Saitava Pache Pache Amito Ganga Krishna Krishna Boli Saitava Pache Pache Oh hey Vaishnava Thakur Doyara Sagara Edase Koruna Kori Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura Doyara Sagara Edase Koruna Kori Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Vaishnava Thakur Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Ujjvala Vadana Gora Vadadeha Tilasita Niravare Baba Vikeha Vivavana Pavana Kipaya Resha go, go, go. Jajarantara Baba Vishara Sujana Sarjanara Vishara Bababaya Bhajana Karana Karuna Sakana Mami Shakti Shakti Kanaya Aranam Bharadara Charu Chakola Indu Vinindita Nakashaya Rishira Shakita Nija Guna Nama Vinodam Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Kanaya Shigalita Nayana Kamala Jaladara Kushana Navarasa Baba Vikara Katyati Mantara Nitya Vilasam Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Kanaya Chanchala Charu Chana Kati Ruchira Manjira Ranjita Paranita Madura Chandra Vimindita Shitala Varana Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Kanaya Vikati Dora Kamandalu Gandam Vidyakale Varamundita Mundam Dujana Kalma Shakandana Jandam Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Kanaya Kushana Vuraja Lakavalitam Kampita Vindara Vara Vishira Malaya Vira Chita Ujala Tilakam Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Kanaya Nindita Aruna Kamala Dalanayana Ajanulambika Shri Jayudala Kalevara Kaishora Nataka Vesha Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Ujvala Varna Tora Varateham Vaisesika Niravari Baba Vijeham Tribhuvna Pavana Kirpaya Lesha Sankana Mami Chachi Chachi Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Sachinandana Jai Gaura Hari 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 Bo. Bhagavad-gita chapter 12, please. Arjuna inquired, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshiping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. But those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, the all-pervading, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth, by controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such persons engaged in the welfare at last achieve me. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal feature of the Supreme. Advancement is very troublesome. Make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. But those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engage in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage. If, however, you are unable to work in this consciousness of me, then try to act giving up all results of your work and try to be self-situated. If you cannot take to this practice, then engage yourself in the cultivation of knowledge. Better than knowledge, however, is meditation, and better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action, for by such renunciation one can attain peace of mind. One who is not envious, but is a kind friend to all living entities, who does not think himself a proprietor and is free from false ego, who is equal in both happiness and distress, who is tolerant, always satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service with determination, his mind and intelligence fixed on me. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. He by whom no one is put into difficulty and who is not disturbed by anyone, who is equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety, is very dear to me. My devotee who is not dependent on the ordinary course of activities, who is pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result, is very dear to me. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things, such a devotee is very dear to me. One who is equal to friends and enemies, who is equipoised in honor and dishonor, heat and cold, happiness and distress, fame and infamy, who is always free from contaminating association, always silent and satisfied with anything, who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, and who is engaged in devotional service, such a person is very dear to me. Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. Can you please put up the English for the Guru Puja set? I bow down to the beautiful lotus feet of my spiritual master. By whose causeless mercy I have obtained the supreme holy name, the divine mantra, the service of the son of Shachi Mata, the association of Srila Sarup Damodar, Rupa Goswami and his older brother Sanatan Goswami, the supreme abode of Mathura, the blissful abode of Vrindavan, the divine Radha Kunda and Govardhan Hill, and the desire within my heart for the loving service of Sri Radhika and Madhava in Vrindavan. O spiritual master, O giver of divine wisdom, O friend of the fallen, you are the giver of your own bliss, and you are the only ocean of mercy. Although dwelling in Vrindavan, you have descended for the welfare of fallen souls like myself, and you are preaching the divine love of Radha for Krishna. Please be kind upon me. O friend of the lowly, O Guru Dev, you are the only ocean of mercy. I am a dull fool and have committed hundreds of thousands of offenses. I have fallen into a dense myriad of sins. Therefore, grace me with your mercy so that my mind be fixed on your lotus feet and on Sri Krishna. Although I know my spiritual master is a servitor of Sri Chaitanya, I know him also as a plenary manifestation of the Lord. Every living entity is eternally a servant of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Therefore, the spiritual master cannot be other than the servant of Lord Chaitanya. The spiritual master's eternal occupation is to expand the service of the Lord by training disciples in a service attitude. According to the deliberate opinion of the scriptures, the spiritual master is non-different from Krishna. Lord Krishna, in the form of the spiritual master, delivers his devotees. The relationship of a disciple with his spiritual master is as good as his relationship with the Supreme Lord. Spiritual masters always represent themselves as the humblest servitors of the personality of Godhead, but the disciple must look upon the spiritual master as a manifested representation of Godhead. One should know the instructing spiritual master to be the personality of Krishna. Lord Krishna manifests himself as a supersoul and as the greatest devotee of the Lord. The initiating spiritual master is a personal manifestation of Srila Madan Mohan Vigraha, whereas the instructing spiritual master is a personal representative of Srila Govindadev Vigraha. O my Lord, transcendental poets and experts in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with the prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you appear in two features, externally as the Acharya and internally as the Supersoul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. The lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can attain pure devotional service. I bow to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. Our only wish is to have our consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is the perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens our darkened eyes and fills our hearts with transcendental knowledge. He is our Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prema emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, the friend of the poor, and the Lord and master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter of your lotus feet. Shri Guru Cha Rana Padma Kevala Bhagati Sadma. Bando mui savadana mate. Jahara prasade bhai bhavato Riya Jai. Krishna Prapti Hoy Jaha Hoy Se. Padma Vakya
Gyaan hriday prakashita Dipa gyaan hriday prakashita Prema bhakti jaha hoite Aditya vinasa chate Bhakti ja hoite apicca vinasa jate Vede gaja harita Vede gaja harita Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Shri Guru Karuna Sindhu Adama Janara Bandhu Lokana Lokera Jivana Lokana Lokera Jivana Ha ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha More Parachaya Ha Prabhu Kora Doya Deha More Parachaya Ebijas Shri Bhuvana Ebijas Shri Bhuvana Ha ha Prabhu Gora Doya Deha More Parachaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Namah Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namah Om Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nityanamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Prachanine Nirshesha Shundavari Paschatyarisha Sarvine Nirvishesha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Sri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Prabhu Nityananda Hare Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namah Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopal Govinda Ram Srimad-Bhagavatam Giridhari Gopinath Madan Mohan Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavad-gita Shri Rup Sanatan Raghunath. Shiva Gopal Bhakta Dasa Raghunath. Ekshai Gosai Kori Chanadam Vandan. Jaha Hote Vignanash Abhishra Puran. Ekshai Gosai Jarumita Das. Samara Pararina Mora Panchadras. Tannera Charana Deve Bhakta Sanivas. Janame Janame Hoye Avilas. Ekshai Gosai Jabe Dasya Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash. Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Koila Prakash. Bolo Anande Bolo Hare Bhaja Vrindavan. Go, go, go! Bolo Anande Bolo Hare Bhaja Vrindavan. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pari Mojjamiyaman. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pari Padma Koriyash. Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamo Das. Harinam Sankirtan Kohe Narottamo Das. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Go, go, go! Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Gaura Premanande Haribol Haribol. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Hari Bol. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajkacharya Stottra Shata Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajkacharya Stottra Shata Shri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Goswami Maharaj Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Shri Maipur Navadvip Dham Ki Purushottam Kshetra Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Tulsi Devi Bhakti Devi Ki Yamuna Devi Ganga Devi Ki Samaveda Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Nitai Gaur Premanande.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janarandana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janarandana Yashoda Nandana Vraja Janarandana Jashoda Nandana Vraja Janaranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Sarasatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiraye. Today we're continuing our perpetual reading of the Srimad-Bhagavatam. And today's verse will be in the 11th canto. Chapter 13, and for the palindrome, text 31. And this verse says, those states of existence that are conceived as separate from the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no actual existence, although they create a sense of separation from the absolute truth. Just as the seer of a dream imagines many different activities and rewards, similarly, because of the sense of an existence separate from the Lord's existence, the living entity falsely performs fruitive activities, thinking them to be the cause of future rewards and destinations. And we'll do the word for word. Asatvat, because of lacking factual existence. Atmanaha, from the personality of Godhead. Anyesham, of others. Bhavanam, states of existence. Tat, by them. Krita, created. Bida, difference or separation. Gataya, destinations such as going to heaven. Hetavaha, fruitive activities, which are the cause of future rewards. Cha, also. Asya, of the living entity. Mrisha, false. Swapna, of a dream. Drisha, of the seer. Yata, just as. Does anybody have any comments or thoughts about any of the word for word? Anything that struck you? You don't have to conjure anything, but if you did notice something, Prabhu. You give Shyam a microphone, please. Here, there it is, manifested.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. I was just appreciating Acharya's contribution. Atmanaha, depending on the context, could mean the mind, the body, sometimes the soul, and in this context, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as I read that, I thought, wow, yeah, that was very nice. People with improper understanding could translate this entirely differently, but I was just appreciating Srila Prabhupada's contribution. Hare Krishna.
Nice, nicely done. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. Hearing to this verse, I have a question, actually a doubt. Like dream is false, that I understood. Then comparison of dream to material activities being separate from Krishna, but that is not false, right? It is temporary. So how can I understand this analogy
It's
better?
semantics only. Nasato vidite bhavo and bhavo vidite sata. Ubaryo rapi drishtantas tvanayos tattvadarshibi, has been passed down to us through the seers of the difference between energies, especially that which exists always without change and that which is always changing, bhava, the material nature. One is called illusory, but it's not false because it emanates from the Supreme Lord, as do all energies. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Bhakti Tim.
Hare Krishna. I thought the word hitavaha was quite interesting because it says fruitive activities, which are the cause of future rewards. But I always thought fruitive activities led to hell.
Well, hell is a trigger word, especially here in America, because y'all's going to hell. And future fruit of activities is a hellish condition. Asuryanamate loka anena tamasavrita tamste pratyabhigashanti yeki chatmana no janaha. Those who are asuras, they're beings without any light of Krishna consciousness, are entangled in the material world. It's just different levels of hellishness here in the material world, because Krishna already categorizes it as being hellish from top to bottom. Brahma bhuvana loka puna avartuno Arjuna. That from the highest planet down to the lowest planet, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But the religion of the mind, called manodharma, said some things are auspicious, some things are inauspicious. But as far as the perspective of the Bhagavat goes, it's all hell, all inauspicious, because it's separated from Krishna. Fruit of activities is the symptom of somebody who's separated from Krishna. As mentioned in the Vishnu Purana, that there's Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetra Gyakya Tata Para Avidya Karma Sangyangya Tritaya Shaktir Ishite. There's three kinds of energies. One is internal, other is external, and the other is the marginal energy, who when engaged, says the verse, avidya karma samgyangya, avidya, when one's without knowledge, when one forgets one's connection to Krishna, then karma samgyangya, then one becomes engaged in fruitive activities. So that's the hellish condition of the soul. Suryanamate loka andena tamasavrita. We have Krishna Saka.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Guru Maharaj. Why would Krishna sometimes call himself, sometimes he says may, denotes himself, and even in Bhagavad-gita we see sometimes he says Ishvara or Paramatma, or here it says Atmana.
But when he's talking about Ishvara and Paramatma in the Bhagavad-gita, which he does frequently, he's referring to his expansion as the Paramatma within the heart. He's the source of Paramatma, but he talks about him. And you find this interplay between Krishna and his different expansions. For instance, when Krishna and Arjuna are tricked by Mahavishnu to go to the causal ocean and meet Mahavishnu, Mahavishnu is very much appreciative of Krishna and worships him there. In fact, he created that ruse by stealing away the sons of the Brahmanas, just so that Krishna would have to protect Arjuna and they'd have to go there. And you find also that Chaitanya and Nityananda, they're one and the same, but they gaze into each other's eyes. This is the way Krishna interacts with all of his various expansions. One more? Mukharavind.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I was just intrigued by the word Mrisha, because even in the first chapter, first canto, first verse, there is a similar word used as Mrisha. Dhamnas tejo vari mridam yatha vinimayo yatra tri sargo Mrisha. This material word is made of three modes, and it looks factually true. And here also is the Mrisha word is used in this verse.
Very good. It's an important exercise to interconnect with various words and how they cross between one verse and another, one section and another. Very helpful. You see the interconnection. Shastra Sunipana. So we're having an Abhishek over here. So we'll do the word for word again. Asatvat. Because of lacking factual existence. So sat refers to those things that exist, they always exist. And asat means that they're changing, they're constantly turning into something else. That's the nature of the material world called bhava. Bhava means something that's not stable, changing constantly. And then atmanaha. from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Anyesham. Anyesham. Of others. So this is like anya, means some another thing, like bhumirapod anamulvayu kammano buddhir eva chahankara itiyame bina prakritir ashada apareyamitas twanyam, anyam, means besides these other things. Anyam, anyesham, but it's in the genitive form. Bhavanam, states of existence. Comes from the word pu, to exist. Tat, by them. Demonstrative pronoun, it means you're pointing to something. Tat, you're saying that. It's the same in English as that, T-H-A-T, that, and tat, same word. Om Tat Sat, thanks a lot. Om Tat Sat, thanks for that. Okay. Kritva, krita, created. Bida, difference or separation. Gataya, destinations such as going to heaven. Hetava, fruit of activities, which are the cause of fruitive rewards. And for the sake of Bhakti Tim, which are the cause of future so-called rewards. Cha, also. Asya, of the living entity. Mrisha, false. Swapna, of a dream. Sleeping, wherever you find it, is in Bengali, also in English, that swapna means dreaming, but that's sleeping, because sleeping has sleep with dreams and sleep with no dreams. But it's all called swapna, sleeping. Susupti. Let's see. Cha, also. Asya, of the living entity. Mrisha, which Mukaravinda pointed out is in the very beginning of the Bhagavatam. Viniyo, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Janmad Yasa Yatan Vayad Itaratash Charte Swabhigna Sorat, Tene Brahma Hridaya Munaya. Tejovari Mrisha. Tejovari Mrisha. The material nature is, in the very first verse of the Bhagavatam, described Mrisha, that sometimes the land looks like water, sometimes the water looks like land. You can't tell what's what here in the material world because it's always changing. Everything, it's always in flux. So it's Mrisha, false. Swapna, of a dream. Drisha, the seer. So interestingly, we're talking about you can see a dream. As you're dreaming, you watch it and you participate to some degree. Somebody's talking to you, somebody's counseling you, somebody's walking away from you, all these types of things. They're activities that you're seeing in a dream, yata, just as. So, the yata verses, yata tata, means analogies. And let's do a few repetitions of the verse. Asatvad atmano nyesham bhavanam kritabada gatayo hitavaschasya Risha swapna drisho yata. Chanters? Asatvad atmano nyesham Bhavanam tat krita bida.
Gatayo heta vaschasya.
Gatayo heta vaschasya.
Mrisha swapna drisho yatha.
Risha swapna drisho yata. Asadvadatmano nyesham. Bhavanam tat krita bida.
Gatayo heta vaschasya.
Gatayo heta vaschasya.
Mrisha swapna drisho yatha.
Asadvadatmano nyesham. Bhavanam tat krita bida. Gatayo heta vaschasya. Mrisha swapna drisho yata. Asattvadatmano nyesham. Ananta krita bida. Vaschasya. And here's the translation. Those states of existence that are conceived of as separate from the Supreme Personality of Godhead have no actual existence, although they create a sense of separation from the Absolute Truth. Just as the seer of a dream imagines many different activities and rewards, similarly, because of the sense of an existence separate from the Lord's existence, the living entity falsely performs fruitive activities, thinking them to be the cause of future rewards and destinations. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur comments as follows. Although Lord Krishna in his form of Hamsa Avatar has condemned the intelligence that sees duality and separate values within the material world, the Vedas themselves institute the system of varnashrama dharma, by which the entire human society is divided into different castes, occupations, and spiritual statuses. Therefore, how can the Lord recommend that one give up one's faith in this Vedic system? The answer is given in this verse as follows. The words anyesham bhavanam, or of other states of existence, refer to the innumerable divisions of false identification with the material body, mind, occupation, and so on. Such identification is illusion, and the material divisions of the varnashrama system are certainly based on this illusion. The Vedic literatures promise heavenly rewards such as residence in upper planetary systems and prescribe the means to acquire such rewards. However, both the rewards and the means for achieving them are ultimately illusion. Since this world is the Lord's creation, one cannot deny that its existence is also real. Yet the living entity who identifies the creations of this world as belonging to himself is certainly in illusion. The example may be given that horns are real and rabbits are real, but if one imagines a rabbit's horns, that is certainly illusion, though a rabbit's horns may occur in a dream. Similarly, the living entity dreams of a permanent relationship within the material world. One may dream that one is feasting on sumptuous sweet rice prepared with milk and sugar, but there is no actual nutritional value in the dream of royal feasting. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur remarks in this regard that just as one soon forgets the experience of a dream after awakening, similarly, a liberated soul in Krishna consciousness does not see anything substantial in even the most exalted rewards offered by the Vedas, such as promotion to the heavenly planets. Therefore, Lord Krishna advised Arjuna in Bhagavad-gita to remain fixed in self-realization without being deviated by fruitive rituals performed in the name of religion. I first offer my respectful obeisances to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to all the previous acharyas, and to the assembled devotees. Vancha kalpatarubhascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. And before I make any comments, I'd like to just see if you have any questions or reflections. Yes.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. So Srila Prabhupada mentions Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur in the purport. And so we also hear about that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur came in Srila Prabhupada's dreams. So should we interpret that as something different from a dream or like a transcendental communication?
Those dreams, you'll hear of them frequently, especially in Chaitanya Bhagavat, Chaitanya Charitamrita. One of the ways in which Krishna will inform a living entity. Let's welcome Damodar Vamsidhari Prabhu. Haribol. We finally were able to complete that tunnel between here and Pune. Thank you. It's one of the ways in which Krishna communicates to his devotees is through dreams. As you'll find that devotees who have such dreams get inspiration. Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, in fact, had a direct intervention from Lord Nityananda just after he left his brother's home, who told him, go to Vrindavan, for there you'll attain all things. Happens frequently. So those are verifiable ways in which the Lord communicates to the devotee. Prabhupada also mentions that sometimes somebody who's doing a spiritual duty may take on the responsibility for others. And he says a spiritual master sometimes will take, if the disciple misbehaves, then spiritual master may have to see a bad dream to absorb that karma. So it is a state of existence. And for those who are Krishna conscious, or sometimes even those who aren't, we find in the very beginning of the Bhagavatamrita how Kamakshi Devi communicates in a dream to inspire the Brahmana who's from the northern region of India. Their family deity was Durga, but she gave him a Gopal mantra and said, here, chant this. And he took that very seriously. So there is direct communication by the Lord to his devotees. It doesn't mean necessarily that we should get into dream interpretation too heavily, but we can, and devotees I know who are God brothers, God sisters, and others who have had dreams that were very meaningful to them because it inspired them greatly. Dreams have been studied psychologically as ways in which we're processing things. And in fact, when we study something deeply, oftentimes we're working it out in our dreams. That's why you should get enough rest before you take final exams. For those of you still doing it. Bali? Hare Krishna.
Also, Prabhupada mentioned in 6th canto Bhagavatam in Ajamil Khanda that even though those who are chanting the holy name, Namabhas, they will not see the Yamadutas in the dream. And in some purport in also 8th canto, Prabhupada mentions that sometimes Krishna punishes the devotees in dream. Means actually there are things here. So there are, little bit contrast. He would say not to see the Yamadutas in the dream by chanting the holy name. On the other hand, sometimes he mentioned that, okay, you do not need to go to hell, but Krishna actually gives you this punishment in your dreams so that you see such kind of terrible dreams? Can you give some insight?
Well, seeing the Yamadutas and having a bad dream is a little different. Is that Yamadutas are there on a duty to pick you up, and after reading the 6th canto, we know that they're afraid of devotees. They see Kuntimala, they're like, no thanks, we'll go around. We'll cross the street before we get to the other. But Krishna has ways of instructing all his devotees or helping them in various ways. So he can arrange for these type of things. That one will have a bad dream. Then Prabhupada, after he took sannyas, he was hit by a cow with horns and he fell on the footpath, and Prabhupada recounts, he said, I was thinking, Krishna, what is this? I'm doing everything, and boom, this. So we don't, but tatenu kampam susamikshamano, Krishna may, it's not something, it's not stereotyped. Krishna can act in any way to intervene in our lives to bring us closer. Yasyaham anagrinnami harishe taddanam shanai tato janam jajantyasya swajanam tukadukitam. Sometimes he takes away everything, and in case of Sudama, because Sudama was attached to renunciation, he made him take better than Indra's thing. Gave him a, what's that thing? Tesla. Any other thoughts? Yes. Krishna Dave? Oh, we got a bunch on the board. Krishna Dave, and then we'll go to the big board.
Well, I wanted to get more clarity on what actually consists of fruitive activities and karma kanda, and it is also one of the offenses to the holy name. So how can we avoid them?
Means there's ways in the Vedas that one can elevate oneself in the material world. They're provided so that one can at least follow the Vedic system and try to enjoy the material world. As we hear from the Upadeshamrita, karme pya parito hare priyatiya vyaktim yayur jnaninas. He says that, Rupa Goswami says, karme pya parito, that there's the karmi, and in this context, the karmi is one who's following karma kanda. So from the perspective of Krishna in the Bhagavad-gita, who says, don't get involved in this, Arjuna. These are just flowery words of the Vedas, and you should rise above all of these fruitive rituals. But from the position of somebody who's inextricably connected to the material world and can't give it up, the Vedas offer a little more of a distant path so that they can follow the regulation of the Shastra, and by doing that, they start to gain faith in the Shastra itself. But bahunam jamanamante, after many, many lives, they can come to knowledge, especially if they get association with devotees. One of the ways that our acharyas have mentioned that karmakandis get benefited is by performing karmakanda. Then sometimes they come in contact with devotees during their yagyas. We have the circumstance of Maharaj Nimi, who is performing sacrifices according to the Vedic process. But then the Navayogendras came and attended the sacrifice, and then he got liberation. He got pure devotional service from them. So it's a big project. The Vedas try to encompass everyone and whatever proclivities they have to bring them in so that they can start a path that will accommodate them, so that gradually bring them towards the center, which is to worship Krishna. So if you follow it from that perspective, you'll see that it makes sense. Does that help? Okay. And now the big board. Who do we have up there? Mahima, okay?
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj. The reflection that I have is basically in the purport. Srila Prabhupada, he talks about how divisions based on occupation and the false ego in general are like an illusion. I find that this is like a beautiful point in the Srimad-Bhagavatam, which is kind of like I remember it being mentioned elsewhere that it is the postgraduate study of Bhagavad-gita, and in Bhagavad-gita there is this part where Krishna talks about guna karma vibhagashaha, right? So guna karma vibhagashaha, in that it's like divisions based on varnashrama dharma. But right now, when we go a step further and read the Srimad Bhagavatam, we know even that is dreamlike. So that kind of answers questions like the caste issues and things like that. That's my reflection.
Yes, and Bhagavatam also points out that if you're performing varnashrama dharma separately from Krishna, as did Jarasandha, he was good at varnashrama. But ya esham purusam sakshat, there's a way in which this is a degraded activity. Any activity, that's one of the points we're getting here. Anyesham bhavanam. There's a key phrase here, anyesham bhavanam. So anyesham, it's a cognate in several languages, like anya, other, or alias. If you have an alias, you're doing business as. Anybody here ever make a DBA? 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what it is, doing business as? You have your own business, but you're going to start another business that goes with it, but it's a different one. It's a different name, brand, everything like that. So you have to file for that. It's called doing business as. In the old days, I don't know if it's still the same, the laws, but you used to have to put it in the paper and advertise that you're starting this, and then, yeah, same. And then you're the one doing the business, but as another, as they say nowadays, avatar. You have a different identity. So anyesham means bhavanam, means there are many, many states of existence created by us through separation from Krishna. We take on various identities and we worry about many different things because of forgetting our real identity. So even in the Varnashrama, Vipradvishad gunayatara ravindanaba padaravinda vimukat shwapacham varishnam manyechat arpit mano vachine hitarta pranam punati sakulam natuburi manaha. Prahlad Maharaj says that if somebody may be in the Varnashrama system, but if they're not a devotee of you, my Lord, then they can't even purify themselves, just following rules of Varnashram, pretending to be a Brahmana. Such a Brahmin can't purify even himself. Whereas somebody else who's your devotee, he says, they can purify not only themselves, but their whole dynasty, their whole family, from that engagement in devotional service. So it's the separation that renders it ineffectual. What is the verse I was quoting? Ya esham purusham sakshad. Can you look it up? There's 2 verses from the Bhagavatam that are worth noting. They're from the 11th canto. Ya esham purusham sakshad. Atma prabhavam ishvara. Ye bhajanti tamam. Ye bhajant. No. Stanad prashta padantyada. Stanam prashta. Yeah, that verse from the 11th canto says, if you're into Varnashrama, but you forget about Krishna, then you're just a fallen person. It doesn't make any sense. And we find also, going to your point, Mahima, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu put this on display in his conversation with Ramananda Roy. Because he asked him, okay, what's the best thing? And how to attain it? And he started off by mentioning Varnashrama. That was the first thing that Ramananda Roy said to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Mahaprabhu said, say something else. That's external, he said. That's not going to get it. That's not the real thing. And he got all the way to Jnane priyasa mudapasyanamanta eva jivanti san mukaritam bhavadiya vartam stane stita shrutikatam tanavan manobir ye prayaso jitta jito pyasitais trilokyam, that should engage in unalloyed devotional service to Krishna. How? By hearing about him. That he accepted. Then he said, but if you know more, let's keep going. Okay, and? Okay. We're going down to Mysore, the land of Mysore Pak. Okay, Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I just tried to look up what some Western philosophers had to say about this idea of dreams and illusion. And I came across one very interesting concept by a French philosopher, René Descartes. And he says, his famous thing is cogito ergo sum. And there he questions, he explains this idea of the dreams. And then he says, what is to say that maybe I am not dreaming right now in the wakeful state? And then he goes on to build the case that how I can never trust my senses, because the dream are able to give me a very real identity, a real experience. So it's from the same senses that I'm experiencing this world. So how can I actually be convinced that this world experiences are, I can trust my senses with this thing. And then he also cautions us to say that, okay, not conclude that this entire world is an illusion, like how the Advaitins or the Mayavadis say. He says that even if the very fact that I'm experiencing this means that I am real. So there has to be a reality. I can't just say that everything is illusion or everything is Maya. So I thought it was very closely aligned to this concept of dreams and illusion, what we discuss. So, yes, ma'am. Thank you.
This is the realm of epistemology. How do we know what we know? How do we know what we know is valid? How do we know that we know anything? And that consideration has been going on since the time immemorial. Throughout history, there have been various philosophers who come up with speculations about how to know that you exist, or who speculate that we don't really exist. Some have put forward the theory that, as we find in some so-called religious processes, that consciousness is a process. It has nothing to do with an individual or a fully conscious and independent personal source. And some have put forward the challenge that how do you know, Advait, that you're not just a brain in a petri dish, being manipulated by some diabolical scientist and prodding your brain with some electricity, and therefore you're saying, hey, I live at ISV. Of course, Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mentions that we have to come to self-luminous or self-revealing knowledge. There is a point at which certain things prove themselves. And that was one of Descartes' points about I think, therefore I am, is that I'm aware that I'm aware, therefore I exist. And the difference between a dream and our waking state is profound. We don't have any conundrum when we wake up in the morning after dreaming that we're now awake and I was dreaming before. That's not an issue for most people unless you're mentally ill. Sometimes people have a chemical imbalance or electrical imbalance in their minds, or for whatever reason. I won't try to say exactly what causes it, but there are certain mental states in which people grapple with what is real and what isn't. But for most healthy human beings, there's a way in which once they awaken from sleep, they're aware that I was sleeping, dreaming, and now I'm awake. Of course, the very concept of being awakened and then going into the confines of the mind, thinking I'm this body and this is all my stuff, that's another level of dreaming according to this verse. This anyesham bhavanam means that we have designations other than that of I am Krishna's servant. And because of that, there's layers and layers of misconception we have in our lives. But it's not that we're unaware that we're awake and that we were sleeping, and we can't tell the difference between those two. It's like when the sun comes up in the morning, you don't have to wonder if it came up or not. It's there. Okay, there was a couple more. Yes, 1, 2.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I have a question, like at what state of devotional life or material life we should reciprocate with this verse? Because for dreaming would be different for each person, right? Yeah, at what state of mind is they are in? So
before we get too heady with this verse, I want to go to an essential, important aspect of it, which is the analogy that's given here. There was a reference to having, let's see, the commentators gave this reference that if you dream that you're eating, you're not going to get nourished. Hate to break it, but if you dream that you're working, you went to your work, you're not going to get paid. And this is important because the way that we interact with the world, thinking that it's mine, that I want to conquer the land, I want to conquer the people in my life, all of these will not last. They won't hold. And whatever so-called progress we make with this misconception that I'm holding on to something valuable will be lost. It's practically cliche to mention the fact that you come into the world with nothing, you leave it with nothing, and all of that is a puff of smoke. It's here today, gone tomorrow. It doesn't matter what your achievements are here, what your accolades, how many times you put a ball through a hoop. Maybe you did it one more time than everybody else ever in history. You were able to do that during regulation time. It doesn't matter. All of these are insubstantial and they don't feed the soul. So the point of this verse is to understand that there are ways in which we get distracted from our real purpose in life. The good news is that we're not nihilists. We don't say, because it's illusory and therefore we struggle here in this material world with different problems, the solution is to cut and run or just to deny existence itself, which isn't possible. Try it, because denial is an act of consciousness and it's an act of the will. So you can't get away from the fact that we're personalities. But what it does give us is the very principle that we're practicing in Krishna consciousness, which is Jiv Krishna Das E Bishwas Korleto Ordukonai. As soon as you admit or understand and then embrace the concept that I'm Krishna's, then there's no more problem for you. The problem is caused by this deviation of the intelligence in thinking that something else is mine. Anyesham bhavanam means there's something else. And that conception of thinking there's something else besides of my real interest in life is to serve Krishna. Besides that, everything else causes combinations and permutations of problems for us. Bhavanam, various states. I listed some of them in japa this morning. Anxieties. See if you can check any boxes. Ambitions, resentments, fears, various self-concepts which trouble us. The very idea we have self-concepts of who we are. Do people like me? Do they not like me? How do I interact? That's a problem. At least it has been for me. I already told I read a sociological study about myself, and it shocked me because it was done by my mother, who was a sociologist, and she asked me if she could study me for a paper she was writing. I said, yeah, go ahead. Knock yourself out. And yeah, I was in junior high school, and she studied my nature and made all these observations. My sister gave me the paper, or I inherited it from my sister who passed away, and I got these box of papers, and I said, oh, I remember that. And I read it, and I was shocked. I mean, apparently I spent a lot of time in front of the mirror trying to make sure everything was right. And then I had an obsession with wearing track shoes because I saw, they were kind of new then, and I wanted to distinguish myself as being into track. I mean, it's unlimited. I want to go into the details because they embarrass even me reading it alone. It's like, who is this silly person? But that's, if you look into your life and observe, what do I do? What am I attached to? What's causing my anxieties, my resentments, envy itself of other living beings by comparison? These are all caused by anyesham bhavanam. It means there's myriad states that expand when I forget that I'm a servant of Krishna. And it's such a simple, straightforward thing that when you love Krishna, it's relational. He immediately reciprocates on that level, and the illusion goes away. In that state, there's no illusion, because Jivera Surapahoy, Krishnera Nityadas, we're eternally servants of Krishna. So that's what we're practicing for. In the practice of devotional service, we sublimate that sense of separateness from Krishna in all that we do. That's why it's called yoga, bhakti yoga. Everything we do is a devotion to Krishna. When we wake up, from the time we wake up in the morning till the time we go to sleep, or even when we're dreaming, we dream of Krishna, right? So that's the solution to all the problems. And I was contrasting with the non-nourishing life of entertaining these various false identities with what's actually nourishing. That's why it feels so good to chant Hare Krishna, because you just say, Krishna, I'm your servant. Please engage me in your service. Then there's no more problems. And need I quote the verse, Vayam Dvitiya Binibeshatasya. I feel like I've used up my quota in quoting from early on this year, so I'll leave it at that. Go ahead.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. So a friend once asked me about how to know that the deity that we have at our home is actually having life and prana. So, say coming from India, you see deities everywhere, right from the car's front seat to in the temple to, as a showpiece in our house. So then how do you have a differentiation? At the temple, I understand there is pran pratishtha, but at home versus a showpiece, what's the difference?
Ye yata mam prapadyante tamstataiva bhajamyaham mama manuvartante manusha partha sarvasha. Krishna reciprocates with us. It's a very individual process. So you may come to the temple. Some people may come to the temple and not recognize Krishna because they don't have the wherewithal to do that. And somebody may have a simple deity in their home and have such great devotion for that deity, and Krishna will reciprocate through that deity. So it comes from us. And the ways of worshiping Krishna are carefully described in the Shastra, especially you find, if you read in the 11th canto, Krishna himself tells how to worship the deity. Now, why are there so many rules and regulations? To protect us from ourselves. Because it's so easy, being accustomed to seeing everything separate from Krishna, to not see him in the deity. Therefore, in the Panchatric system, there's a way in which we were given guidance so that we don't barge in and disregard the form of Krishna, who's not different from Krishna. And in that practice, as we're practicing, Kriti Sadhya Bhavit Sadhya Bhavasa Sadhanavida, there's a way in which, by the practice of devotional service, Kriti Sadhya, that we gradually awaken an awareness of Krishna being present there. Because he is reciprocating with us by showing his form in those ways. So those driving down the street in Lowy Bazaar, you may look in a window and you may see many deities or forms of the Lord. And if you're so inspired, you may bow down to every one of them. But most people don't think like that. So we put the deity in one place, and then we very demonstratively come and worship. That's why we have a bell outside. You walk in and go, ding! Krishna, I'm here to worship you. I'm here to be seen by you. And it's now everything is for you. I'm no longer outside. I'm not on my phone. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just here to worship you. And then to bow down before Krishna. And all those ways the Panchatric system instructs us to do, then we become more and more aware of him. And as far as worship at home, there's ways in which there's different ways to install a deity at home. For instance, if you have a deity and you worship that deity for a long time, then it's considered to be installed. Because through your steady worship of the Lord, then he's present. So it comes from our own capacity to worship Krishna. Those Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talked about how the Uttama Adhikari sees Krishna within everything. Any form, moving or non-moving, a pure devotee sees the form of the Lord's there, and therefore worships the Lord everywhere, at all times. Visheshwari Leela.
I was reminded of purport that I recently read in the 5th canto. Towards the end, I think the description of hellish planets, there was a part where Prabhupada clearly said that based on the Varna Ashrama, even though there might be all these things existing, and we know that there are different natures and of people and how they act and the kinds of activities they perform, but the goal is that eventually they come to the platform of pure devotional service. And so gradually they become more Brahmanical or having the qualities of tolerance, truthfulness, and so on. And then engage in pure devotional service. Doesn't matter whatever their natures are. My question is, in practical life, we see that, for example, Arjuna, he was a Kshatriya, and Kshatriyas by nature have to be diplomatic because they're in administration, management. So if they have, with their deliberate interest, wanting to become a devotee, should they become truthful? How does that practically look like? Because diplomacy sometimes means you cannot always see the absolute truth.
Krishna addresses that in that same section of the Gita, 18th chapter. He says that every activity is covered with some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. That's in relationship to Varnashrama, as well as existentially other situations we're in our lives. But he specifically mentions Varnashrama in his purport, where he says, if you're a Brahmana, you may be asked to do some sacrifice in which an animal is killed, so that's not good. If you're a Kshatriya, then you also have to fight and kill people. That's not so nice. If you're a Vaishya, you have to say, for you I make no profit. And that's not true. And for a Shudra, you have to work for somebody else, and your boss may be a jerk. And tell you to do stuff that morally you don't think you should do, but you have to do it anyway. But then Krishna also says you can't give up the duty that was given to you. Now, so why is that? Because everything has some fault. And unless you stay steady in your duty throughout your life, you won't learn the lessons of how vidyam chayas tadvedopayam saha. Side by side, you have to learn how to contend with the faults, with the various illusory, as mentioned here, ideas of who you are at a particular time, and come to a state of purification. So we're held steady in practicing Krishna consciousness, even through our work when we do Varnashrama, by remembering that good and bad may come and go, will come and go, but our main purpose ultimately is to serve the Lord. And that's the ultimate purpose of Varnashrama. It's all meant to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead through whatever duty we're doing. Because if you try to deal with every problem individually, you'll never come to the end of it. There is no ultimate solution. Everything goes topsy-turvy in this world, or as they say nowadays, everything goes sideways. Eventually, a friend becomes an enemy, the person you were torturing becomes your boss. I mean, look at Subhuti Roy, that's in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. All these things are always happening, so you have to hold steady somewhere. And Varnashram is a sort of a distant way of worshiping Krishna, but it's worshiping Krishna. Just like if you're a good citizen in the United States, you stop at the stoplights, and in some way that pleases President Trump, because you stopped at a stoplight. You can say, yeah, I pleased the president because I. And in a similar way, doing our duty in Varnashram, it's under the umbrella of this is for the Lord. Otherwise, if it's not for the Lord, anyesham bhavanam, it just gets into more designation that I'm a Brahmana, and therefore I rule all you people. So yes, you asked if we should become truthful.
My question is, as a person evolves and realizes all these are false identities and they're trying to become more a servant of Krishna, then what does it look like? Should someone who is in a position of having to do the administration start speaking the truth to follow the principles of devotional service?
Yes. And you'll notice that the last 6 verses of the 12th chapter of the Bhagavad-gita tell us the result of practicing Krishna consciousness in any of its forms. And that is that, as Krishna mentions, the person becomes straightforward, truthful. And it's not that, there's different ways to interact with people, and somebody who's Krishna conscious will be able to sort out situations without resorting to false ego. It's the hardest thing that we do. We, all of us. I'll just see if you agree with me on this. It's interpersonal dealings. Every service is easy. Really, it's just straightforward. You just follow the system. 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're there. But along between 1 and 2, there's some interpersonal dealing that becomes troublesome. Because like, no, I was there first. And, and that's my potholder over there, by the way. I brought that from home. And, whatever it is, there's always something to deal with in there. But a devotee whose heart has become freed from envy, nindadi shunya hridamipsata sangalabhya, it doesn't have to give in to the false ego at every stage, and therefore is able to progress in management from one step to another, because he or she is able to accommodate others, to find workarounds and do things. And of course there's different styles of management, but the main point is, whatever the motive is in the heart of the person who's administering whatever form of guidance there is, if that is pure intention, then it comes out well. I usually watch Prabhupada's way of dealing with all kinds of problems and interpersonal dealings. He was expert, daksha. It's one of the qualities of a pure devotee, daksha, is that person is expert in dealing with all kinds of situations, the hardest of which is interpersonal kind of things that took place. I mean, people made all kinds of outrageous claims and had difficulties, and they just brought them all to Prabhupada and left them at his door. Only our group is bona fide. That mantra has been going on since the universe started. Look at Shiva and the Daksha fight. It's like, they had gangs going, gang violence at that time. And so that's been going, that's the nature of the material world. So when we become pure in heart, that is, we see that my only interest is serving Krishna. If I have another interest, anyesham bhavanam, it means that's going to manifest in my interpersonal dealings with people, and it's going to become troublesome because I'm holding something else in. We can all see this for ourselves. If we have a pure motive in what we're doing, then the ways in which we're able to maneuver in the material world become unlimited. But once we say, me, I, me, my, I, me, my, I, me, my, I, me, my, the mantra of the material world, if you listen carefully, I, me, my, I, me, my, I, me, my. Even somebody can, look at me, look at me, look at me, everybody look at me. That's different from somebody who's chanting with, I just want to please you, Krishna, by this mantra. And so it all comes from that point. Anyesham, bhavanam, all forms of difficulty come from misidentification and thinking that there's something separate from my interest of serving Krishna. Okay, time for 2 last ones on the big board. Oh wait, you had one. I already called on you. Really? What was the answer?
Well, my question was if you could speak about how Varnashram Dharma dedicated to Krishna looks like in practice as opposed to without Krishna.
And what was the answer?
I think it was similar to what she was asking. So you become truthful and then you dedicate.
There's what?
Becoming truthful.
Becoming truthful. Yeah. Unless Krishna tells you to lie. And he better be there in the room. Okay. I really can't see that board up there, so I see hands up. Rohini Dulal's here. Fantastic. Go ahead, Rohini.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Today's verse looks strikingly similar to one of the Chatushloki verses, Kritedam yat pratiyetana pratiyeta chatmani tadvityad atmano maya yatha vasayata tamaha. So I was thinking how whatever is connected with Krishna, if we can see with that light, it becomes a reality. Whether it is a dream or the daily interactions. Prabhupada also talks about daydream and night dream. So everything becomes a dream unless we connect the things with Krishna. Maharaj, I have a question from the purport. We say that if something is Maya and if the material world is projected as something imaginary, we call it as temporary, from a temporary purpose. But we also see in many purports the falsity and then the temporary are also used interchangeably. So it becomes a little confusing. Can you please throw more light on that?
False has to do with it's contrary to our ultimate interest in life. And when it's advising us that something's false, it's telling us it's fool's gold. Fool's gold looks like gold, but it's not gold. And so Krishna doesn't want us to get entangled with something that's not good for us. He's our well-wisher. He's in our heart. So these instructions come in ways semantically that we can understand them. That's why fool's gold is called fool's gold. Someone say, well, that's a little harsh, don't you think? Calling it fool's gold. I felt insulted when I was a kid because I went into a gift shop when we were on vacation and I saw a box of gold. And I went and tugged on my parents' sleeve and said, there's gold in there and they're selling it for practically nothing. And my parents both concurred that that's called fool's gold. And it's like, what are you trying to call me, a fool? And so there's this falsity means that for us, it's fool's gold. And philosophically, we talk about it as temporary because we're eternal. And therefore, nasato vidite bhavo, we have nothing to do with it. It's not our realm. There's nothing here for us at all. Asango hyayam purushaha. The Vedas say very succinctly that little jiva, there's nothing here at all. You have no connection to this world at all. It doesn't pertain to you. It's not germane to your ultimate interest in life. So just don't even consider it. And since we're already here, then you have to engage in such a way that you don't get more entangled. So we have things like varnashrama, so that we can stay steady enough, have 2 feet on the ground and not get tipped over and fall into complete illusion, so that we can cultivate Krishna consciousness. So false or temporary have these 2 connotations. Okay, last one. It's Devavrata for the close. Oh, Yashoda Dulal. Yashoda Dulal. Who is next? Yashoda Vatsal. And then Devavrata somewhere in the sunshine. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
My question is, it was from the chanting call itself, and then, the same verse that you took it has some aspect to it as well. So, on some days, the chanting as well as our all services become so mechanical that, I get totally, like, I can understand that, all my chanting, all my, artik or anything that I'm doing, it's really becoming mechanical. And I was feeling like maybe because I'm not able to compartmentalize my, work with, properly, so that things are coming in my brain probably. And that is the reason it's, completely taking me away from while I'm doing my service or while I'm doing my chanting. So yesterday I felt like, I went for a walk in the late evening and I wanted to complete my rounds. So I was thinking like, I just wanted to know whether I'm thinking as an illusion or not. But I was thinking that why not to think that, hey, I'm no more working for any job. Like my job is finished at whatever, 7, 8 o'clock. And now it's my new job started and I'm with Krishna. And, I'm just, I have to constantly remember that I'm with Krishna and with, in the Golok Vrindavan, and then, chanting and remembering Krishna that way. So is it illusion or like, am I trying to fool myself? No, right?
No, that's Krishna consciousness. We Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Param Sada Pashanti Surya Divavichakshara Tatan Tabibraso Vipanyavo Jagvavansaha Simindate Vishnu Yat Paramam Param. Even though we're here in the world and engaging in various ways, we keep our eye on Tat. Was Tat? That. There's only one real that. There's only one real mom, because everything comes from Krishna. And the one that's real is Krishna. Everything else is relative to Krishna. So if we can reorient our purposes towards that, then that's Krishna consciousness. So it's very good. Keep doing it.
Thank you, Guru. Yeah.
Okay, last one from Devavrata Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Denver?
No, Pagosa Springs, Colorado.
Wow. Living the life of Riley. Go ahead.
I was just wanting to share on your point that you were making about interpersonal relationships. Recently, there was like a interpersonal circumstance which I had to process for like the past 2 years, and I was really trying to grab for a solution. And for some reason, it just wasn't coming. My heart wasn't feeling satisfied. And then just back in March, one devotee had shared with me a quote from Bhakti Rakshak Shridhar Maharaj, in which Maharaj was saying that the environment is friendly and you can't do anything to change the environment. It's beyond your control. But the only thing which you can do is regulate yourself in relationship to the environment in a Krishna conscious way and see how everything is coming from Krishna. So I was just thinking how the way people deal with us, which may feel contrary, which may feel disrespectful, or the various ways in which we can interpret it, if it's adjusted according to a mood of how can I be of service, how can this allow me to grow in my Krishna consciousness, then everything which is coming to us is positive. There's nothing negative, because everything is ultimately Krishna's energy, everything is under Krishna's control. So I've just been meditating on this point, and it's helped me greatly see every opportunity as, even ones which I don't necessarily agree with, as an opportunity to deepen my dependence upon Krishna.
Very good. That helps all of us, because these are subtle things. The interpersonal relationship, you may carry it around in your heart and it may disturb you unlimitedly. But having straightforward ideas about how to overcome that problem, as you've just mentioned, are it's manna from heaven. I was once in a conundrum about a particular situation, and then Ratatvaj Swami, who I had talked to about it, gave me that verse from Prithu Maharaj's interaction with Indra, in which Indra confounded Prithu Maharaj's 100 horse sacrifice by stealing away the horse out of envy. He didn't want somebody else to beat him. And finally, Prithu Maharaj became so angry he wanted to kill Indra. But Brahma intervened, and he told him that you have to tolerate these things because they come to everybody. And the more you try to solve it on an individual basis, the more complexity there will be. And the more, he said, you'll go into a deep depression. Prabhupada mentions in the purport there about tolerance, but you've also mentioned the means by which one can tolerate. To understand that Krishna's doing everything for us, tatenu kampam susumikshamano. We can't control the environment, but we can adjust. And for instance, one may develop a determination within one's heart to be more strict in one's own process of devotional service because of encountering something that was so disturbing to you. It's like, okay, that's it. Like Maharaj Anga. Remember Maharaj Anga? He's a pure devotee in his own right. Who was his son again? Vena. I mean, that's horrible. He's a pure devotee, but then he has a son who becomes known as Cruel Vena and killed his playmates. He used to throw him over a cliff or something like that and think it was funny. But Anga finally left home. I'm not saying that's the solution, but I'm pointing out that Prabhupada says in his purport that was his great impetus to fully give himself to Krishna. It's because of that horrible circumstance in his life. And whatever circumstance there is in our life, it can only be overcome by Krishna consciousness. Could have just said that in the beginning, and we could have just had a break early for prasadam. But that's the point that the Bhagavatam's coming to. that all the problems we have, and you find them everywhere, they're ubiquitous. Any Zoom call I'm on, everyone's asking, but what about this, what about that, what about this, what about... Just chant Hare Krishna. And be fully aware that Krishna is your protector, and that you're drinking from the reservoir of pleasure, and that when you do that, there's no problem. And if there is a problem, then you're insulated from it because you're chanting Hare Krishna. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev, if you so desire, please let all of us who are in this community together take full shelter of Krishna consciousness by chanting Hare Krishna very sincerely, reading the Srimad-Bhagavatam, and following all the processes, simple processes, strictly. Let us take care of ourselves first so we can take care of others. And please let us overcome all problems by this method, and also beat Mayapur. Thank you for considering our request. Om Tat Sat. Everyone agrees with this prayer in whole or in part. Please say Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Go Premanande Haribo.
Hare Haribo.
Today we have a special presentation from one of our youths who Sheshwari Leela's been grooming for this very next talk. So if you can all stay for another 7 to 8 minutes, we're going to have a special talk, and then prasadam for everybody in Santa Clara County or wherever we are.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for this wonderful morning Bhagavatam class. Really, actually, I'm loving the format of the Q&A because it really brings out what's in our heart and we get answers right away. So it just feels so satisfying to miraculously connect to the Bhagavatam topic. And actually, it's such a beauty of Bhagavatam. Every verse, every word of the Bhagavatam, as Prabhupada has revealed to us, is so transcendental. It can answer and smash all the problems that we struggle with. And today's presentation is going to be by Krishna Priya, one of my very favorite students. And her topic is, what's the most dangerous offense?
Hare Krishna. My name is Krishna Priya, and today I will be presenting Chapter 7 from the book Secrets of Bhakti, titled What is the Most Dangerous Offense? This chapter discusses Vaishnava Aparadha, which means offending devotees of the Lord. It explains how devotees are so important to Krishna and that disrespecting them can disrupt one's spiritual life and progress in bhakti. Vaishnava Aparadha means criticizing, insulting, or harming devotees of the Lord. Devotees are very dear to Krishna, and they dedicate their lives to serve him. Because of this, offending devotees is not considered a small mistake. Offending devotees can also weaken or stop one's spiritual progress in bhakti. A connection is made between offense to a person, and a mad elephant destroying a garden. A garden takes patience, time, effort, and care to grow, but a mad elephant can destroy it within moments. In the same way, practicing bhakti takes time, and one serious offense can damage that effort very quickly. Another example is from the Srimad-Bhagavatam 9.468, when Lord Vishnu says to Durvasa Muni, Sadhavo hridayam mayam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanyate na jananti, naham tebhyo managapi. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. This verse shows how close the Lord is to his devotees, and how respecting them is an important part of spiritual life. One important story is between Ambarish Maharaj and Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni was very angry at Ambarish Maharaj and tried to harm him. However, the Lord helped Ambarish Maharaj, and the Sudarshan Chakra chased Durvasa Muni throughout the whole universe. He approached many important, powerful beings, but no one could protect him. Finally, Durvasa Muni realized his mistake and returned to Ambarish Maharaj to beg for forgiveness. This story teaches us that even powerful persons must be humble and respectful towards devotees. So, what causes these offenses? These are often caused by false envy, ego, pride, and greed. Many people become proud or jealous, which makes them begin to criticize others or think they're superior to them. This attitude can lead to disrespectful behavior. Instead of criticizing others, we should think about the good qualities of them and serve and respect them instead of thinking of their faults. Examples from the scriptures are from books like the Ramayana, Srimad-Bhagavatam, and Mahabharata. Figures like Daksha and Duryodhana let pride and jealousy take control of them, which led to serious consequences. These examples help us realize that we should be aware of our words, actions, and our thoughts towards other spiritually devoted people. Another important example is from the Srimad-Bhagavatam 10.446, which explains the dangers of offending devotees. Ayuhu shriyam yasho dharmam lokan ashisha evacha hanti shreyam shri sarvani pumso mahad atikrama. My dear king, when a man persecutes great souls, all his benedictions of longevity, beauty, fame, religion, blessings, and promotion to higher planets will be destroyed. This verse explains how dangerous offending devotees are, and we should always be respectful to them. In conclusion, devotees play a very important role in spiritual life. They guide others, give blessings, and they help gain faith in bhakti. The main idea is that we should practice humility, respect others, and always appreciate devotees. Instead of criticizing devotees, we should seek their blessings so we can gain progress in bhakti. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. How many talks have you given up here so far?
This is my second one.
It's really good. Yeah. How did you go about creating this? What was your process? So if somebody else wanted to give a talk like this, what did you do to get this all together?
I took examples from the books, and I read I tried to research different verses so I could put it all together and think of examples that like would all create all of this like problem and how Vaishnava Aparada works and all of that.
And did you choose the pictures?
Yeah.
How did you do that?
I took the like title of each topic and then I researched it on Google and then I found pictures that correlate to the words.
I see. And was there any... Oh, and the other thing I had a question is, how did you prepare for your talk, the speaking part that you're doing that? Did you go over it and over it? Because it seemed like it was just, you knew exactly what you were going to say. How did you prepare yourself?
I made points on like what I wanted to talk about, and then to remember, I wrote on paper, like so I could remember it, so it goes into my brain, and I practiced again and again so I could remember.
Was it hard?
A little.
And last question: is there one lesson that went straight to your heart, and while you were compiling it, while you were studying it? Was there anything that you took away? Like, what would be the top thing you took away from the whole exercise that was meaningful to you?
You should always be respectful to devotees, no matter how they treat you or how they treat others.
Thank you very much. It was really well put together, and your delivery was near perfect.
Thank you.
Leaves you a little room for the next time, which we hope is soon. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Krishna Priya. You really did a really nice job. One of the points that you made that I really liked was, instead of criticizing devotees, we should talk about their good qualities. I like that. That's a good way to dovetail that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Guru Maharaj and Guru Ma. So, Tadiya Siva Prabhu, and if anyone else has any questions, comments, or reflections.
Great topic, and I like the example of Ramachandra Khan criticizing Haridas Thakur. That was close to my heart. Very nice topic. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Katha Karnava Prabhu, here.
Thank you so much, Krishna Priya, for the fantastic presentation. I have a question. You mentioned the example of destroying the garden of bhakti when we commit an offense to a Vaishnav. So Krishna also says in Bhagavad-gita that whatever progress we make in bhakti, there's no loss or diminution. You progress, you start from where you left. So how do we understand this when we commit Vaishnava Aparadha? Do we lose the credits on bhakti? Hare Krishna.
When you commit Vaishnava Aparadha, it's offense to a devotee. So it's like you're insulting a devotee, so it means like, which are very dear to Krishna. So you're insulting one of like Krishna's devotees, one of Krishna's childs. So sometimes they can like downgrade on your bhakti sometimes.
Yes.
I liked your answer, Krishna Priya. There's a continuation to it too. The answer is questioned more fully. Because is it permanent? And Prabhupada explains this in the Bhagavatam when he talks about various people who offended Krishna as devotees. As you said, they're downgraded. Sometimes they're even downgraded to lower species of life. But Prabhupada points out that that's temporary so that they can get purified. And the results of their chanting and everything like that remain. So it's never lost. But they're waylaid for some time until they get purified, and then they can come back and chant purely. And especially if they can get relieved of the offense by begging forgiveness from the Vaishnava. But your answer was really good. It's in the Nectar of Devotion. It's mentioned there that one can be downgraded according to the degree of one's offense and to the caliber of the devotee one's offended as well. One can lose one's stature stage by stage accordingly. So good answer, and hopefully that other part, I can show you the Shastric references for those if you want to see them later, so you can complete the answer a little more. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Any other questions, comments? Oh, online, there's someone? I can't read, sorry. Shyam Sundar? Shyam Sundari. Oh, okay. Oh, she was...
No, that was very good. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you so much, Krishna Priya. We will stop here. And congratulations again. Actually, I didn't have to put any effort. She inherits bhakti from her family, from her parents, very exalted devotees who we are eternally grateful for their association and example in our congregation. Thank you, Hari Sankirtan Prabhu, for all that you do.
I just want to add that this time I didn't help her at all. So generally, like for most person, I go through it. I mean, I read through the slides. It looked good to me. I said, okay, you're on your own. I just asked her to add the last Vancha Kalpa. So that's the only thing. But she did everything on her own. So good job, Krishna Priya.
And I want to add that this is also our second time. I didn't put any effort either. I just had to hear it once. I said, okay, you're all good. And she's here. So I'm very proud of you, Krishna Priya, for all the effort that you're putting and you're taking this on. You know, you're like that silent warrior. You're very soft from the outside, but from inside, I know you're very strong and very focused and determined. So I'm very, very grateful for your association.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to hand over for announcements. Sankirtan Bhakti Community.
Thank you, everyone. Today, 6:30 p.m., we have an appointment with all of you, especially the book distributors. If you have some newcomer who you're giving books to, please invite them at 6:30 p.m. at Palo Alto. We have a program called Mantra Zone, which is very, very newcomer friendly. If you want to see what happens in that program, I have a short video which we post on our Instagram page. And you can just forward that video to any newcomer to join the program. So just to give you a quick glimpse, and I'll talk a little bit about it, let's just play that video quickly.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you. So that's our little reel on the Instagram page. It has all the details, where to come, where to point the newcomer. So just go to Instagram, bhakticommunity.com. Just forward that to whoever you meet today and leave it between them and Krishna, whether they want to join or not. Don't make any, don't try to make any decisions there. Just forward to them. We have seen that a lot of Iranians, particularly if people are going and giving books to Iranians, a lot of Iranians are coming because they are really going through a lot of painful situations. They want something positive, something else, and they are very open to these kind of communities. So please invite them, and anybody, please invite them. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We are in our monthly Sankirtan festival for Bhaktivinoda Thakur, which started last week. And our goal is to distribute at least, actually our goal is not to distribute, our goal is to have at least 3,000 devotees to participate in our book distribution marathon. And I just wanted to share, I don't know if you remember this pledge cards that we all pledged on day of Narasimha Chaturdashi. We after offering to Lord Nrsimhadev, Brahmananda Sakha Prabhu gave this back to me. So we tabulated all the pledges, and we are very happy to say that we got pledges for 5,843 Bhagavatam sets pledged to be distributed. That's all because of the mercy of Lord Nrsimhadev. And whoever has pledged, I know you made a promise to Lord Nrsimhadev. The next step is to follow through. But what we wanted to announce is that next Sunday, that's May 17th, is the start of Purushottam Mas, that is Adhika Mas, people call it. And on that day, this pledge card was not widely launched. It was just at the temple for the devotees who came to the program that day. But on May 17th, we will give an opportunity for everyone to pledge and to sign up for this monthly Sankirtan festival of at least 3,000 book distributors. So we are just announcing ahead of time, though we are not fully ready yet, because we have all the videos, how to distribute books, all the steps to distribute, everything is coming up. But we just want everyone to start thinking ahead of time. But on that day of next Sunday, on the day, first day of Purushottam month, we'll launch this campaign. And the idea is very simple. You have to inspire at least one another devotee, distribute at least one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam. How can they distribute? They can distribute by giving somebody a physical Bhagavatam set, the full set. They can sponsor a Srimad-Bhagavatam set. They can distribute an e-book, which is also okay. Or they can get someone else to sponsor for them also. So anything is valid. As Vaisesika Prabhu said last time, yena kena prakarena, they can figure out a different way. But everyone in this community, we want them to participate. It's not one for family. It is one per person. So where is Hari Sankirtan Prabhu? I saw him here. He has 5 to distribute. He has to. So we are requesting everyone to please participate in this event. It's actually really, really satisfying service, because last week Achyuta Kumar Prabhu, I saw him here, he was there too, but he distributed a Bhagavatam set. He distributes many sets. One is not a number for him, but he distributes many sets. And one person who took the set of Srimad-Bhagavatam, he donated $1,500 for one set of Srimad-Bhagavatam last Saturday. So people are really, really inspired. People want to take, they want to donate. So please, you just have to approach them. And Kids Sankirtan team, the little kids also, went out door to door, the kids only. And Kameshwari took a team out, and also Kumari Leela took a team out. So Kameshwari, would you like to share any highlights from your Kids Sankirtan outing very quickly? Because I know that one thing was really good. I heard so many reviews about it. Can you guess what it was? Pizza. Yeah.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. So we had 2 teams went out last Saturday. Kumari Leela took one team, and in that team we had 2 new debutants that joined for first time for book distribution. One was Ovi, she is present here, and then another Murlidhar, the little Murlidhar. They both joined for the first time. And Kunjari personally was present there. She encouraged all of them. Kumari Leela made pizza. They distributed books. They distributed Bhagavatam. And after going home, they did kirtan and they had pizza. So anybody who hasn't gone out on book distribution and you want to take your child for the first time and give them an experience, so please let us know. And also another second team went out in Tri-Valley. We went there, many kids joined, and Anvaya, all of them were playing most of the time. And one time what happened, I was at the third floor, we were glorifying Srimad-Bhagavatam, Vaisesika Prabhu and myself, we were there, and Prahlad was with us. And I was trying to call some kids, come upstairs, and Anvaya heard me, and she came running all the way third floor, and then she glorified Bhagavatam. Then they already had Chaitanya Charitamrita from devotees. They met at Indian store. And so I asked Anvaya, tell them why they should have Bhagavatam in the home. And then she said that, she thought for a couple of moments, and she said that before we had Bhagavatam in the home, we were happy, but after Bhagavatam came home, the atmosphere became very different in our house. Everybody's reading Bhagavatam, and everybody's so peaceful now. And she said, I think this helped me very much, and it helped my family. I'm sure you will like it. And then she told her favorite story, Prahlad Maharaj story, and then they were very happy with the presentation. I forget the family's name. They had a son. They were very happy. They took the Srimad-Bhagavatam e-copy, and they gave $60 donation. So it was really nice experience. Also, after that, we went to Palika Mataji's home. We had a pizza for all the kids and parents. So if you like to have this fun experience and make a contribution towards our MSF, please join us. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kameshwari. We have unlimited spots today. Prabhu?
When we sell a e-set, I thought it'd be nice if we have a coupon they can get when they purchase it, where they can also get the full set, a physical set. Do you have that?
Prabhu, we don't have that, but we have been giving our contact information and saying that if you want a full set, please
Coupon's the next
us.
step.
Yeah.
Because coupon calls to you and says, trade this in. If we can design it in such a way that it's compelling for them, and maybe, show a picture of the family standing around the set in the house or something like that, and also maybe offer an installation once we come in there. I think it could take them from that. I'm thinking in terms of how to do 3 sets rather than 1 at a time, because we're ordering small sets of Bhagavatams, meaning the smaller size, and we're also ordering lots of the big size too, to have enough. And now we have e-sets, and as much as one can take 1 set, they can also take the other 2 parts. So 3 at a time we should start with. Or if they only take an e-set, then they should be compelled by the coupon to take it. Because the small set is for, like I have my little Bhagavatam, I wouldn't want to carry a big one in my bag, it's too heavy. So you should have a big one in your house, and then the small one so you can carry it, and the e-set so you can read it when you don't have either one. But the coupon, that's my main point.
Yes, Prabhu, we'll work on it.
Okay.
We'll have a coupon. And also welcome Damodar Vamshidhari Prabhu, because I know that when you were here, we started the monthly Sankirtan festival for Bhaktivinoda Thakur of 300 devotees and everything. So it's nice to have you back when we are launching the MSF of 3,000 book distributors. If you need the spots, you can contact Kautukarna Prabhu here, and or me, and we will make sure that you can go to one of the spots. Hare Krishna.
We got a special prayer in Bengali before we take prasadam. And it says that just by taking prasadam, we'll conquer over the material world, starting with the tongue. Would you like to sing the song? Sharira vijajal, jodendriya tahikal, jive pele vishayashagore, taramade dibayati, loba moy sudurmati, take jeta katina shankshare, Krishna Bharadoya moy, Kori bare jiva jai, Shah Prasad and Adilo bai, Shayanamrita pao, Radha Krishna gunagao, Preme dako Chaitanya nitai, Ma Prasade Govinde, Namabhamani Vaishnave, Sapapunyavatam Rajan, Vishvaso Navijayate, Prasade Sarvadhukanam, Hanirasyo Pajayate, Prasanna Chetaso Yashu, Puripargata Vayopa Bhukta Swaganda, Vasalankara Charchitaha, Uchishta Bojino Dasa, Stava Mayam Jayame, Shiksham Prayushitam Bhapi, Nityam Vadurateshita, Prati Matrena Bhoktavyam, Natra Kala Vicharana, Bhagavad-gita, Prasariki, Jeshaniya Mastatra, Nakalaniya Mastatra, Praptamata, Uttam Shrishta, Bhoktaram, Hare Abravid. Bhagavad Srimad Prasariki, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Please come take prasadam. Be served in the new picnic area, the new and improved. Out the door, take a sharp right. Hare Krishna.